Hello language learners. Welcome to Language Learning Tips, your trusted source for mastering English in real, practical ways. I'm your host, and today we're tackling something that stops many learners from truly thriving in English: fear. Yes, you heard that right. Fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly, and even fear of speaking in front of others. If this sounds familiar, then today's episode is for you. We're going to talk about the secret to speaking English confidently, without hesitation. No more fear, no more self-doubt, just pure confidence to speak freely in English. So, let's start by asking, why do we feel so afraid to speak English? After all, it's just a language, right? Well, the fear of speaking English is incredibly common. In fact, it's one of the biggest obstacles language learners face. But before we can tackle it, we need to understand where it comes from. The truth is, most of us fear speaking English because we're afraid of making mistakes. We've all been there, right? You're in a conversation, and suddenly, you freeze because you're worried that your grammar might be wrong, your accent might not be perfect, or you might use the wrong word. But here's the thing, mistakes are part of learning. Every single native speaker has made mistakes in their language at some point in their lives. So, why should we hold ourselves to a higher standard just because we're learning a second language? The fear comes from the pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect. But let me tell you something important. Fluency isn't about perfection. Fluency is about communication. And confidence is the key to communication. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's easy to say I should embrace mistakes, but how do I actually do that? Well, the first step is changing your mindset. Instead of thinking of mistakes as something to avoid, start seeing them as learning opportunities. When you make a mistake, you're not failing, you're growing. Every time you speak, you get closer to fluency. You learn new things about the language, and you improve. The more you speak, the less fear will hold you back. I want you to repeat after me. Mistakes are my stepping stones to improvement. Say it out loud. That's right. Embracing mistakes will give you the courage to keep speaking, even if you don't feel 100% ready. Let's take a real-life example to put this into practice. Imagine you're at a cafe, and the barista asks, "Do you want it to stay or take away?" Now, instead of panicking and thinking about whether you're using the right tense or whether your accent sounds weird, take a deep breath. You know the meaning of what she's saying, and you know how to answer. You simply say, "For here, please." It's that easy. But here's the key. The confidence to speak comes from practicing this over and over again. The more you expose yourself to real conversations, the more you'll realize nothing bad happens when you make a mistake. And honestly, most people won't even notice if you make a tiny slip-up. They'll just be happy that you're speaking and trying to communicate. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become. So, the next time you're in that cafe, you'll say, "For here," with a smile, and you'll be proud of yourself for not letting fear hold you back. So now that we know why fear holds us back and how to shift our mindset, let's dive into some practical tips to build your confidence in speaking English. 1. Practice speaking daily, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is key when it comes to building confidence. Find time every day to speak, even if it's just talking to yourself or saying things out loud. Describe your day, your surroundings, or even talk about a movie you watched. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. 2. Join conversation groups or language exchanges. There's no better way to build confidence than by speaking with others. Join online conversation groups, or if possible, attend in-person language exchanges. Don't worry if they make mistakes too. Remember, you're all in the same boat. 3. Start with what you know. Don't try to use complex language right away. Stick to simple phrases and vocabulary that you're comfortable with. This builds your confidence step by step. Once you feel comfortable with basic sentences, you can start experimenting with more advanced language. 4. Focus on communication, not perfection. This is so important. You don't need to sound like a native speaker to communicate effectively. The goal is to get your message across clearly, and people will appreciate your effort. So, stop worrying about sounding perfect, and just focus on expressing yourself. 5. Record yourself speaking. This might sound a bit strange at first, but recording yourself speaking can help you become more aware of your language patterns, mistakes, and areas for improvement. Listen to the recording and think about how you can improve next time. I'd love to hear from you. Let's make this a conversation. Tell me, when did you last feel afraid to speak English? What helped you push through that fear? Or maybe you have a trick or tip that's worked for you to boost your confidence. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences. Here's an exciting bonus for you, a 7-day confidence challenge to help you break through your fear and start speaking English with confidence. Ready? Day 1. Start your day by saying 5 sentences out loud in English. They can be about anything, your routine, your goals, or even something funny that happened. Just speak. Day 2. Record yourself speaking for 1 to 2 minutes. Talk about anything you want. Just listen to it and notice where you can improve. Day 3. Watch an English video, a YouTube clip, a short film, or even a TED Talk, without subtitles. Afterward, summarize what you learned in your own words, either in writing or by recording it. Day 4. Have a short conversation with a friend or online language partner. Start simple but make it a point to speak for at least 5 minutes, without worrying about mistakes. Day 5. Practice a new phrase or sentence structure you've recently learned. Use it at least 3 times in conversation or with yourself. Day 6. Go out and speak English in a real situation, even if it's just ordering coffee or asking for directions. Make it a goal to speak at least 5 sentences in English in public. Day 7. Reflect on your progress. Write down or talk about how you felt before and after completing the challenge. What's improved? What did you learn? This challenge will help you break the fear of speaking and start building real confidence. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace them as your stepping stones. Remember, confidence comes with practice. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. So don't let fear stop you. Step up, speak up, and embrace the journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's also working on their English confidence. For more tips and language challenges, follow me on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep speaking English confidently.